night. That's all I ever hear in this house.
There seems to be a need for sports talk in the Bay Area.
Young going to run it himself. Will get the first down. Still on his feet. Steve Young came out of the backfield to the right. Here's Detmer. Pass is picked off. Out of the Young. Touchdown.
I'm Jake Lucas. I'm with Dave Greenstein and Joe Starkey.
Jake, I'm going to interrupt you. Football over the last 2 decades has been right here at Memorial Stadium. First pass play. Hurts lets it go right before he's hit. Any coverage. Lamb goes up.
So we're called Hum Daddies because we're Giants fans that have kids.
And toss over the top.
But we're not babies. We have
goal. Purdy
Hum Daddies. Get it? All right.
Out of the pocket, looking for a deep. Devontae Smith, one-hander. It's the end. He's got
the look here. This ball is clearly hit. That is an open hand. That is a...
Gonna sneak it again. Hurts looking for a push from behind. He is...
Come on, hello, welcome everybody to a new episode of your Hum Daddies, and this is the OG crew. I'm Jake Lucas with Joseph Storkey and Dave Greenstein, and guys, I think we have a bit of a big matchup coming up on Sunday. What do you guys think?
Yeah, man, season's on the line. It's do or die. I don't like our chances, but you play the game for a reason. So let's see what happens.
I think it's the anything is possible. We got to rip the ball out of everybody's hand and hope that there's some shitty play calling from the Eagles that sets our defense up for success. Other than that, Brock just chuck 'em, baby.
Yeah, well, instead of Brock just chucking, I would like to run the ball. Run the ball, Shanahan. That is my main message for this entire podcast. I'm not going to let that go. But there's obviously other things going on. And let's start with Joe. What do we have to do here? How can we win? I'm not very confident either. I wasn't super confident last week, but I thought we'd look a little better on offense. What can we do?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start by saying I don't expect to win. But I don't think that's impossible. I think there is a way. And first and foremost, we're going to have to outscore them. Our defense is frankly not that good right now. And, we're going to have to rely on Purdy, on McCaffrey, on Trent Williams being back. Kittle's got to have a big game. Maybe Pearsall can show a little flash on offense. We had nobody was getting open last week. No protection last week against Seattle. So the offense is really going to have to do a lot better than 3 points. I hear Jake saying we're going to need to run the ball. You know what we're going to need to do? We're going to need to control the ball. So I think that has a lot to do with running the ball, but we can't be going, 39 minutes to 21 minutes in terms of time of possession last week. That is not going to work. So we're really going to have to shine on offense. Purdy's going to have to play out of his mind, and we're going to have to score more than 30 points, and the defense is going to have to be okay.
Maybe the defense doesn't have to be okay. It just has to not give up 35 points. I think then we have a chance.
Well, my takeaways from, I think the two biggest successes for game plans against our defense this season have been the Texans. Like the most pathetic I felt as a Niners fan watching the game. The Texans just rolled us with controlling the football and the time of possession, controlling the clock, not letting us get the ball back. And then the Seahawks did the exact same damn thing, and it's deflating. And you just kind of feel that as a Niners fan. Like we're not showing up to this game. We don't have the ball on offense, and when we do, we're going 3 and out. And so I think those games felt really similar, the Texans game and the Seattle game to me. So let's not let that happen again, okay? And the way we can do that is running the ball on offense and controlling the clock when we can on our side. Screen passes. I mean, get creative. Get Brock out of the pocket if there's no time. Switch up the personnel. And it just felt like Shanahan wasn't doing that against Seattle. And a lot of people agree with me. I know Joe doesn't. So, I mean, do those sound like reasonable suggestions for the Niners?
Yeah, and here's how they can do it. Trent Williams can play, which he's questionable. That opens up the running game, obviously, and maybe a little bit of pass block. And if Ricky Pearsall can get in the game and stretch the defense just a little bit, then maybe some of those screen passes, Jake, can become much more effective. And I think the first down is almost more important than the touchdown this game for the 49ers. To your point about clock management, the Niners get a bunch of first downs, really control it, and just keep the Eagles offense off the field. We have a chance to win this football game. They're 4.5-point dogs on the road, which is almost even. I mean, if they're playing on any field, that's, per Zach Slenderbook, he says it's pretty much you're given 3 points when you go on the road. And so we're almost at even odds, which means that the Vegas thinks we have a much better shot than maybe others do. And I think that's heavily because the Eagles are just suspect. They lost the last game of the season when they could have won and advanced a position over the Bears. So, they're not playing. They have a Lamborghini offense, right? They can go fast and hit you hard with a lot of big runs and big plays, but they're not performing right now.
Well, Dave, they did sit a lot of their players on the last week of the season, so I don't think that was emblematic of what they can do. Yeah, so they're coming in fresh. They are the healthiest team per salary of players playing currently, and the 49ers are the least healthy. So we don't have that going for us. In fact, I think the 4.5 points seems a lot closer than I think a lot of people are thinking. I think the smart money is probably with the Eagles right now. I mean, we have talking about this defense. The front seven is just like kind of minor league. Frankly, I don't know what linebacker we're on right now, but Kendricks and Kazir White, these are going to be the starting linebackers in this game. I haven't even seen them play early.
Don't sleep on Garrett Wallow.
I'm sleeping on Garrett Wallow. Our special teams linebackers, I've had enough of it.
Patrick Willis was rumored to maybe make a comeback in this one.
A little Phillip Rivers throwback with our great Patty Will.
So here's the good news: is the Eagles are going to want to run the ball also, and the Niners D line is pretty beefy, So, and the Eagles offensive line hasn't played nearly as well this year as they did last year. So if you want to look on the bright side of things, there's a chance we could stuff the run. I mean, you got to hope so. It's probably not going to happen, as we keep saying, but it's a possibility. We have a lot of weight, a lot of big, heavy fellas up there on the defensive front, and some of those guys are still healthy, the originals.
Yeah, I guess Lane Johnson, stud tackle, it sounds like he's playing, so that might make a difference. I think what they say in Philadelphia is that it's basically the same roster that won the Super Bowl last year, but the offensive coordinator got a different coaching position, so that seems to have made a big difference in terms of their offensive output. So
look at the Lions. Look at the Detroit Lions. Same thing happened to them. I mean, this is the NFL, and a good to great coordinator can ultimately take your team from average to Super Bowl contender, and then all of a sudden be gone the next season. And
look at the Niners defense last year, and look at it this year with a way more beat up, worse personnel, and we're a way better team because our defensive coordinator is maybe the best defensive coordinator in football. To your point.
Yeah, I mean, another way we could potentially win this is pull some rabbits out of the coaching staff hat. Hopefully Saleh can keep it going and be good enough on defense. Maybe we can get a turnover. That could be helpful. We haven't really not got a lot of turnovers this year. Maybe Pinheiro on special teams can come up with some magic. And then, Jake's boy Shanahan is really going to have the game of his life, honestly. He's really going to have to get deep in his bag. Trick plays, I don't care, something.
Well, let's hope he talks to Mike McDaniel now that he's a free man. And maybe he can help coordinate the run game. What do you guys think?
Sure. I'll take it. I mean, I think that's sort of a distraction, honestly.
Yeah. Well, he can have a convo with him. Doesn't need to have him on the sideline.
You know what?
Really hit up your dad. Talk to Mike Shanahan. Okay, let's get him involved. Just don't be so cocksure and headstrong or strong-headed. I don't know. I'm tired. But
So here's speaking of being aggressive, I have a question for you guys. I don't think we're favored in this game. We're not favored in this game. I don't necessarily think we're going to win this game. But we're going to have to control the ball like we said earlier. And part of that is going for it on fourth down, converting on third down, going for it on fourth and short. And I just want to know how aggressive you guys think we need to be on fourth down. Like, what are you guys expecting? 4th and 2 from the 50, your own side of the field from the, 35, 40, 45. Are we going for it? I think we need to.
If we block, we're gonna convert. I mean, we missed some big time blocks on that fourth down against the Seahawks, which could have been a touchdown pass. Wasn't. 2 guys missed the block, including CMC. This game is going to be, I think, a lot about how CMC performs, because he hasn't had the big playoff game that we need him to have, or hasn't had it maybe ever. I mean, he's had some good games in the playoffs, but we need him to have like a, supreme over Saquon game. Like, he needs to just be like, it's all about CMC. That's I think the name of the game. And a Sky Moore punt or a kickoff return for a touchdown or a big gainer to give us a big momentum push at some point in this game, I think is going to be another key play that the Niners need to find a way to get. We have to find those extra little curriculars to win this football game. Jake, what do you think about, what the Niners are going to do in their first couple of drives? Are we going to bring any of the sneaky plays out that you probably have been wondering where, are they in our back pocket? We've got to have some of these trick plays up our sleeve that we've been practicing, but we very rarely show them.
I like your idea about CMC needs to be a beast, and I like Sky Moore. I think throw Sky Moore out there as a receiver. Stretch the field a little bit. He's he's one of their only fast receivers. Is Pearsall playing? What's his status?
On game time decision. So it looks like Trent Williams is practicing, and Pearsall was practicing too. So I assume he's going to play.
Oh, okay. So if Pearsall plays, that's a big deal for the offense. If he doesn't, for some reason, because he was tracking to play all last week and he didn't, throw Sky Moore out there. Whatever. Use every possible rabbit out in your hat. Like
what about your boy Jake Tonjes?
Yeah. Throw him out there, go double tight, go triple tight, get creative with formations. You don't necessarily need trick plays. I don't want him doing double reverses and flea flickers and stuff like that. But
what was killing us last week too against Seattle, also I think against the Texans, is their front four was just giving Purdy a closed pocket, and he had to scramble, he had to rush some passes, and we couldn't penetrate on the rushes. It was a problem. We need Trent Williams, McKivitz, my little tiny elf Brendel to do some damage. We need to move the ball. That was the problem. It's like the only reason why I disagree with you a little bit about running the ball is I don't think we could. We were getting shoved around last week. And
so what do people not understand about Brian Robinson had 1 carry for 6 yards? And then people like you are saying, but we couldn't run the ball. They didn't try to run the ball again with him until like the second half.
Well, I mean,
how is that disproven?
I don't disagree, but we are getting blown up on the line, and we only had 20 plays of total, in offense the first half. So like,
the first series, 1 run. Second series, 1 run. Third
3
series,
and out. One of
run.
one of the 3 plays was a run. What are you gonna what?
Yeah, I mean, Jake, if the Niners run it on first down and pick up a yard, maybe 2 yards tops, are you saying go again? Like how much are you going back to the run on second down versus
the way Purdy wasn't getting any time last week? If that's the case, then do 2 runs and a pass. I don't care. Do 3 runs and play 4 down territory. Get creative. Okay?
I think this is where
BS it.
Vic Fangio obviously knows the Niners well, as was a defensive coordinator for us.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's going to dial it in similar to the way the Seahawks defense is. The benefit is the Seahawks defense is one of the best we've seen in a while. I don't think we're giving them enough credit, how good they actually are. They were bull rushing us and collapsing the pocket on Purdy, so he couldn't even get out half the time.
And they weren't blitzing. They were just rushing 4, and we couldn't handle it.
And I think that's going to be probably the second most important thing behind CMC is Brock Purdy getting a lot of 6-7 yard rushes and picking up some yards to keep those defensive linemen a little more honest so they don't just bull rush. I mean, sometimes you kind of want to let them come all the way through and then just move ahead to the second level and see where the linebackers are and either dump it off or Purdy uses his legs and maybe picks up, those small yardage gains, but big enough to get us a first down.
Okay. Well, sure.
Sure. Why not?
I mean, I that Fangio thing also, I mean, I'm not very confident. I'm not.
You think Vic Fangio is going to dial it up pretty well and beat the snot out of
He's pretty good. Yeah,
He's
pretty good.
Pretty good D coordinator. I don't think I've watched a lot of Eagles this year, and they've randomly not shown up to a couple games. And Jalen Hurts has looked really bad at times and really inaccurate and a really bad decision maker and has sit in the pocket too long a lot of the time.
I'll tell you another thing, Jake, that maybe could go in our direction. If somehow we get out to a lead, they had 7, 10, 14-point lead in the first half, that stadium is going to lose their shit. They are ready to boo that team if the offense doesn't come and do something. And that could just kind of shift the dynamic, and maybe they get a little jumpy. Maybe they try to, throw the ball, throw an interception, and weirder things have happened. So
the anti-12th man, the Philadelphia Eagles fans.
Exactly. They're a passionate fan base, and they are going to be so pissed if they go down 10-0.
Passionate, by the way, is a polite way to talk about Eagles fans. Pole climbing idiots. Hey, listen, here's the biggest advantage was that the NFL took mercy on the 49ers and said, listen, with all your injuries, we'll let you play Sunday. Because if we played Saturday, it was going to be 100% chance of rain in Philadelphia. And if it's raining cats and dogs, the Niners have no chance of winning this football game. Now we're playing on Sunday with sunshine, and Brock Purdy gets to throw a dry ball around. So huge advantage right there for the Niners right off the bat.
Yeah, Brock and those small little hands aren't very good in the rain, I hear.
Yeah. And the other side of the ball, I got to, tell you what I'm honestly most concerned about. I don't think, these crap linebackers and this zero pass rush, how are we going to stop their tight end? I just don't see how that's going to happen in any way.
Yeah, that would
is
be
Kendricks really
is Goddard player props for sure.
Kazir White and Kendricks are going to stop him. I just don't see it. So how?
I think we gotta play small and scrappy and gang tackle, right? I mean, Upton Stout can tackle and he can hopefully stay with a tight end. And it's gonna be a lot on his shoulders as kind of that slot cornerback to sometimes go out and grab the tight end. But you're right, that's a huge weak spot, and I'm sure they're gonna try and take advantage of it.
Upton Stout might be our best player in defense. That guy is good. I love Upton Stout. So I'm not so much, I'm not putting on Upton Stout, but this bevy of little, out of the gutter linebacker crew.
Healthy. I mean, so
they Jair's, Mustafa, Lenore, and Stout. I think those four guys right there give us a
step
great
your
chance.
game up, DBs.
It's going to be all about them.
Yeah, step your game up.
Trouble at middle linebacker.
And who's, maybe one of these D linemen can step it up.
I'm waiting for Huff to have a big breakout game. I heard on another pod, why is Huff getting every down snaps? Like, bring him in on third downs, maybe occasionally on a second down to try and keep him fresh so that he gets a better pass rush. I'm totally up for that.
Dave, you're hilarious. Why is he playing every down? Because we don't have anybody else. I mean,
yeah,
right. Cleo Farrell's great, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Collins. Let's see you do something, big fella.
All right, can we talk about the injuries a little bit and this whole post that went on about the Niners being next to a bunch of electric.
Well, before we get into the Stranger Things and the let's do our trademark. What are you wearing and what are you drinking? We are the Hum Daddies, and every episode Hum Daddies do. We ask, what are you drinking and what are you wearing and what are you wearing and what are you drinking? And that's kind of one of the more fun things we get to do today as we get ready for the Niners' demise and the last game of the season. Who wants to start off?
Joe, you go because I have my drinks downstairs.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with I'm having a original pattern, my favorite brewery out here in Oakland. It's called Just Send It IPA. It's ski season, baby, and you just got to send it this time of year. So delicious. I like the fun little art there.
Cool.
And then I'm rocking the Jeff Garcia. Favorite game I ever went to was a wild card game at the Stick against the New York Football Giants. And I think we were down something like 38-14 in the third quarter. And Jeff Garcia and Terrell Owens just went bananas. I think T.O. had like 175 yards, and Jeff Garcia scored 4 touchdowns. And it was awesome. I think, you had guys like Jeff Ulbrich had a fumble, and Ty Streets was doing some things. And then Eric Johnson had like 6 catches. I was just looking at it.
Strahan told T.O. to
Jessica Simpson's husband.
Yeah. Remember Strahan was
And
like scoreboard.
it came down to a field goal to win the game, and the snapper threw it over the placeholder's head, and then they try to throw it, and the DB or whoever just tackled the wide receiver. They didn't call it. Game over. I mean, the place went nuts. I can't believe if they actually called PI on that play, there would have just been just a mayhem. I can't even imagine.
I remember that game perfectly. I was watching with friend of the podcast, Julian Pont, at my at my parents' house. But was that were we in high school still, or was that college?
It was college.
College? Okay, so I think we must have been on winter break still or something.
Yeah.
Julian was over at my house, and he dropped a huge bottle of ketchup all over the floor and broke it because my dad made breakfast. It was a 10 a.m. game. And I just remember Strahan taunting, like telling T.O., look at the scoreboard, and then T.O., had the last laugh, and then we got spanked the following week by the Bucks, I think, and that was their Super Bowl year, maybe?
Bucks?
Yeah.
Was it the Packers, maybe? It's the
No,
Bucks.
Tampa Bay. I remember we got our asses handed to us. It was a blowout. But nice. Great record. I remember that game so well. It was a great Niners, one of the all-time Niners games in my lifetime.
It was amazing.
I missed the Niner game. Which Niner game were you guys talking about?
The wild card game against the Giants where they came back from 38-14, won 39-38 on a missed field goal or a botched field goal.
YouTube highlights over and over again and never be bored. Some of my
Great.
favorites.
And
Man,
Jeff
T.O.
Garcia
was good. That guy was amazing.
What we've said it before, one of the most underrated quarterbacks, I think, in NFL history, Jeff Garcia. He was incredible for us for a handful of years there.
Even just like around the Niner circles, you don't hear his name very often. He was great.
Yeah.
It was hard because he followed 2 of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and yet he still was a very, very good quarterback.
I think he made 3 Pro Bowls for the Niners, and I think he had the most passing yards ever for a Niner for a while in a season.
He fed Terrell Owens most of his yards as a wide receiver, and he's one of the all-time greats.
I think he was like the least quarterback-looking quarterback there has ever been. Just all moxie, just skin and bones.
Little jump, his little.
Well, yeah, just like little rat passes he would do. Yeah,
it was an unsexy throw. It wasn't like, oh, look how beautiful the majestic arm of Jeff Garcia is. He was like 5'10", and he was scrappy as shit.
It was ugly and amazing.
Dave?
Yeah, well, today, coming back from a long trip, I'm not drinking alcohol, but I am having a Negroni, but it is a non-alcoholic Negroni, and it's themed Niner. So probably wouldn't have been good, though, with a little bit of whiskey. And then I got on the jersey that I was hoping to actually get in time for our live podcast, my 94 throwback Jerry Rice.
Oh, Jerry.
And I'm hoping there's some better luck this roll around. I wore this jersey out on the Big Island in Hawaii, and we did not fare well. But I won't blame the jersey. I've watched 2 games in a tropical place. The first one was the epic game against the New York Giants, where we lost in the NFC Championship game on a couple of Kyle Williams biffs.
Oh, that would have been my favorite game of all time.
Yeah, it was going to be either a good day, and I was in Bali at the time. It would have been a great day in Bali, or but
What time was it in Bali?
I think it was actually not that bad. It was like 8 or 9 in the morning. So I ended up finishing the game around like maybe it was 7.
Because that was like a night game. Yeah.
Yeah, and I somehow was able to. I don't even know how I was able to stream back then, but it was decent enough, and I could. It was choppy here and there, but in the big moments, I could definitely watch the game. Yeah, and so it brought back these weird feelings of having a humid air and a loss under me. So I'm hoping to stay in a chilly place for this weekend's game.
Nice. Cool. I'm wearing. I think I wore this maybe on the first week of the season because why not? Let's bring out the Bosa, bring out some Bosa energy. We need to play defense. Finally, for once, we need a sack or two. Come on, defensive ends, channel Big Nick. So I got my Bosa jersey on, Niners hat, obviously, and when I drink non-alcoholic beers, there's a few, but this one is my favorite from close by brewery, Fieldwork.
Oh, Fieldwork.
Yeah, I love this Day Money Grapefruit Blonde non-alcoholic beer. Is like the best tasting non-alcoholic beer I've ever had.
It sounds more like a soda at that point.
I mean, it's kind of like a grape, like a shandy almost,
or
but
a Radler.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a Radler kind of deal, but it's delicious. Love Fieldwork. Support Fieldwork. We're at their closest location to you. Mine is in Berkeley. So there you go.
Fieldwork does amazing stuff.
All right. So let's introduce your Stranger Things electric field stuff.
Okay. So there's a rumor going around because of the dramatic Niner injuries over the past, I don't know, ever since they moved to Santa Clara, that perhaps the Achilles and tendon and all of these injuries might be related to people having, I don't know, some proximity to electromagnetic fields, some dirty electricity, as some people might call it. An article was written about this because I don't remember the measurement, but it's like MMREs or whatever, that at a certain level, it can potentially be detrimental to your health. How that manifests, no one can say for sure. It's not studied, because if it was studied, people would be making complaints to electrical companies all across the country, and then we would have people up in arms because they sprained their thumb one day. And like, well, it must have been the electromagnetic fields coming out of the street. So no one makes a stink out of it. However, when you're next to an electrical substation, you've had this many injuries, everyone's looking for something to blame. And some people are blaming Shanahan and the way he goes about practice and maybe pushing guys too hard. Some people are picking on the more extraterrestrial kind of stuff. And then, like me, I'm thinking it's just really shitty luck. And I think it's like when you have a bad ankle, you know how the other ankle starts to get bad too? As soon as you get a first couple of injuries, everyone starts to overplay, and then the injuries come more so. And then also, you're just a 49er. And so the expectations win a Super Bowl or, bust. And we're busting kneecaps and everything else.
I mean, the stats of the injuries are pretty damning, though. Like, it's not just this year. This year, most injured team, but that's not the only year with the most injured team. It keeps happening. I'm not a believer in all this electromagnetic field business. Maybe I should be, but I think it has something to do with player selection or training, something. But
yeah,
I'm not buying electromagnetic field.
Well, they do. There was a weird period of them going after. Definitely in the bulky era, they like to go after guys with injury histories because they could get them late in the draft. And Frank Gore paid off. Some guys did not. But I think Lynch has done a little bit of that too. But it's not just they're the most injured team in the NFL for the last decade on average, for 10 years. And also that lines up when they moved to Santa Clara. I mean, that's always been their practice facility, I guess, but now they're, playing their games there too. But yeah, there's something in the air. I don't know what else to blame. I mean, sure, maybe it is the electromagnetic fields. Something's going on, man. And I don't know if there's some kind of like voodoo doll someone has out there, but it doesn't make sense to me. So
the crazy one was you get a rookie like Michael Williams and all of a sudden he goes down, and like his injury didn't look like anything even happened. I mean, even Bosa's was like, it wasn't like an impact injury. They just kind of collapsed. And this went more to our conversation. We've kind of already touched on a lot of this, is just the methodology of guys getting really big and really strong and not having the weight distribution that you might need to have. And the bigger and stronger and faster you get, muscle mass doesn't equate to the body's dynamic movement entirely. There's a lot of other pieces in there that have to function too, and those don't necessarily get to be built up as easily as muscle mass and everything else. And so we might just be, on a tiny little Mazda truck frame driving an F-150, and that just doesn't work.
That's the case for the entire NFL. Why are the Niners more like that than every other team in the NFL?
Because of the electromagnetic.
There you go. Has to be.
Solved another mystery, fellas. Good work.
That's the new theme of the podcast. We're gonna dig into the electromagnetic fields and extraterrestrial things. But yeah, a good friend of ours, Pete Negronis, knows about this more. Hit him up. And who else can you hit up, Dave?
Simon Knight, to talk about your financials. Listen, guys, it's a new year. You've got new financial goals. Maybe you're going to budget for a new doghouse that you'll be going into if you mess up with your wife. I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of things you need to save money for.
Is there something we should know?
I'm a little worried about my Sunday night. I'm just thinking the end of the season could be upon us. I'm not going to be. I might find myself in the doghouse Sunday night.
Whether
Face down in a gutter or something, maybe. Maybe that's me. Who knows?
But anyway, Simon Knight. You're going to want to reach out to Simon Knight to get your financial advice. Somebody want to hit us with the phone number? It's 510. Jake. Keep it going.
Yeah. Well, Simon is
2371. That's Simon Knight at Edward Jones.
We need to create a jingle for that. Simon Knight at 510. And then the rest.
Did you guys hear that our buddy Fred Warner had a baby?
No, congrats, Freddie.
Yep, Fred had a baby. Now maybe he can come over to Philadelphia and play the game today or on Sunday.
Well, I just saw a tweet that he was running on the practice field. He was running sprints.
I just feel like it's gonna be a little sad if he's a week late here.
I know, man. It's that would be a real shame. I mean, I like your idea. You never know what's going to happen in these wild card weekend games. The Niners could come out just gunslinging, and who knows? Maybe some things happen. Maybe they put up a couple quick tutties.
I think honestly, 2023 is it still hurts a lot. I think we're so beaten down from that, and the fact that this Eagles team has won the Super Bowl and beat the Chiefs, who we couldn't beat, makes us feel like, how the hell are we ever going to beat the Eagles? I mean, it feels like they just have our number. That being said, we've won some crazy road games before. It's happened. We have the talent. We can do it. And Brock Purdy may just absolutely come out and be, Mr. Indiana or Iowa State. Sorry.
In 2023, in the regular season, we beat the living hell out of the Eagles. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I think it was the 2022 NFC Championship game in 2023, the season of 2022, and then the next year we kicked their butt, exercised some demons. Brock Purdy did
40 or something. Purdy for 42. Yeah,
put it on him.
Yeah, we laid it on.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first quarter is gonna be really telling. I mean, I hate to say, but we might know in the first quarter what's gonna happen in this game because Shanahan's got to kind of play from a lead. He can't be going down, big money early. It's really to our advantage to get out in front from the beginning for a number of reasons. To get the fans crazed, control the ball, maybe make them make some mistakes on defense, turn the ball over. I just really don't like the idea of us being down 2 scores of them.
I'm going to put this out there. If Trent Williams plays, if Ricky Pearsall gets 50% of the snaps, I really like our chances to actually win this game. I think we forget how dominant we just were on offense. We played I'm pretty sure the number 1 defense on both pass and rush in the Seattle Seahawks. And I think I heard a stat that they might be the best rushing defense since 2016 as an NFL team. Some stat that's pretty telling. And so to have put up not numbers, but had a chance to win against a Seahawks team that is, I think, the best in the NFL right now. And we're going to go against an Eagles team that I don't think is as impressive as the team we've seen the last few years. I really like our shot. We got to have those 2 weapons on the football field on offense.
Well, if Gypsy's picking the Niners, you know what time it is.
I said I like our chances. I was very, and I have a gambling story for you guys if we want to get to it before the end of the pod.
Shoot, go for it now.
It has nothing to do with the NFL.
Okay, well, let's put a bow on.
Well, then never mind.
We can put a bow on this. I mean, I don't have a prediction really. We've kind of talked about all the possible situations, and I'm hoping for the best, guys. I just want to put positive energy out there. Be hopeful, but don't expect anything. You know what I mean?
Right. The other guy that I think needs to really turn it on, didn't play that well last week, I didn't think, was Kittle. Kittle needs to be a superstar. I'm not sure if his hammy is slowing him down, but we need him to kind of kick it into overdrive.
And I think at that point, if we need to get Tondras on there, you guys have mentioned it in our chat. We got to have a double tight end look. We got to have a double back look. Let's get this field spread out and make these Eagles chase us all over.
And I really like, like you said, Dave, McCaffrey, he's our MVP. So play like a damn MVP, dude. And, take the bull by the horns and make something happen. He does it every regular season.
If he doesn't turn the ball over, we're going to win the football game. I'm going to say that right now. If McCaffrey doesn't turn the ball over, I think we win this football game.
What if he gets 5 carries for 30 yards? Or
As long as they're for 2 touchdowns in there, we're good to go.
Yeah, what do you have?
I'm excited, man. This is going to be it, man. I if we do pull it off, it'll be amazing because I just gotta say, playing with the house's money, it feels like a little bit like it's been a kind of amazing season to date that we're even last week we were playing potentially for the number 1 seed. That just sounds wild. And just even be in the playoffs with the amount of injuries we've had, I gotta say it feels a little bit like happy to be here. So, hopefully the guys don't feel like they have a big weight on their shoulders and they can kind of play free and easy. And same thing with the coaching staff and your boy Shanahan. Hopefully he just lets it fly. I want to see a lot of 4th and 2, 4th and 3, going for it, keep the ball.
Agreed.
And keep your foot on the gas pedal.
Yeah, and it did feel like the house's money all year. And then finally last week when there's a chance to get the number 1 seed and like there's such a national narrative about playing every game at home, playing the Super Bowl at home all with a bye week and just staying at home. And
bye-bye.
Got to Shanahan.
Too much pressure. You're right, Jake.
It wasn't house money anymore. Okay.
Nope. It became this could be that great story, and then Shanahan shit.
And then he was like, "Okay, so I have to abandon everything we've done right all year. Okay, let me think of something brand new." Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, now we got our buns kicked last week. Seattle looked fantastic. I mean, they beat us on both sides of the ball, and it wasn't really all that close.
I think we could have done more on offense, but okay. Yeah.
Well,
defense,
we didn't.
No.
I'm not saying we did enough on offense. We got our ass kicked on both sides of the ball.
Right, but I think it was preventable on offense. I don't think that was given. That had to happen. I think.
Yeah, and you know what? Football, like other sports, game of inches. A couple, like Dave, you're talking about that 4th and 1 play that we got blown up on and ended up throwing to Juice in the flat. Like, if either McKivitz or CMC could lay down a block, or if CMC later could have made that catch, there's a number of things that could have gone in the 49ers direction. I mean, there was already a few things. They missed 2 field goals, Seattle did. But, I mean, a few more things, and it could have gone our direction. I think there was a fumble recovery that we could have had. I think that was Gross Matos could have had the recovery. So there are going to be opportunities. We just need to seize those opportunities when they come up on Sunday.
You right. You ain't wrong. All right.
I mean, it's been a hell of a season, guys. I've loved this Niner team this year because it's been the world against us with all these injuries. I mean, despite what happens in the playoffs, we made it. We got there. We shouldn't really be there, and if we were, we should have been probably the last wild card team.
We had our live podcast to one of the best games of the last, that
was amazing.
Years. The Chicago game was amazing. We were all together. Just great memories from the season. You're right. Oh, when we look back, it'll be a fun season overall. No doubt about it.
The Rams win that we had was one of the best games we've seen in a long time.
Those 2 games were so good. That Rams Thursday night game and that Bears game at Pond Farm.
Yeah,
awesome.
Just Mac coming through, multiple times when we absolutely needed a win. We wouldn't be in this situation without him.
Yeah.
Kendrick Bourne with a couple monstrous games. So yeah.
I hope the team kind of gets back into the let's not forget what we've done this season, and let's keep it going and create some more memories. Because I mean, even one more game after this would be enough for me to feel like what a hell of a year for the Niners. I'd love to get past the Eagles, though. I feel like there's something to that.
Yeah, let's hope it happens. Chances are it won't, but you never know. Okay, Dave, play us out with your gambling story.
All right. So once upon a time, the Oklahoma City Thunder were carrying a record of, I think, like 25-1. And I said, listen, 25-1, this team is winning by 15 plus points a game. How are they ever going to lose? They're never going to lose. So let's go ahead and put a little money on it. Why not? So I took $50 and I said, let's go ahead and throw that on a 74-win season to pass up the Golden State Warriors 73-win season. It was $50. It was like a plus 460 to win like 210. Immediately after I put that bet in, they lose. I think they lose 6 out of their next 11 games. Like, it was right when they lost to San Antonio 3 games in a row. Like, it was like they completely just fell off a cliff. They just lost recently to the Phoenix Suns and at home to Charlotte. And I was like, man, that bet was worth it, because I'll pay $50 to watch that team fall to the ground. But the saving grace, and I'll say this right now, it'll probably come back to bite me in the ass. I also laid $50, which I wanted to parlay, but you can't parlay these prop bets. I laid 50 on Shea to win MVP, which at the time was like plus 160, because Jokic was looking like the shoe-in. And now Jokic got hurt, and he's not going to qualify with the 65-game minimum. And so now I'm sitting on what feels like a sure win, because now if you were to bet MVP for Shea, it's like minus 450. Like, he's clearly the favorite. But hey,
high ankle sprain coming soon for Shai.
Yeah, man.
You heard it here. You heard it first.
SGA, get ready for a major injury,
but
fella.
If I'm going to cool a team away from the 73-win Warriors, I'll pay $50 every day of the week to keep that record in our side of the street.
Yeah, because that's a very fun season when we lost the championship after the 73 wins.
That was an amazing season.
73-win season.
I still love. That's still my favorite season, even though they lost.
Really? More than the one?
Maybe the first time. Maybe the first time in 2015.
It was the most beautiful basketball I ever
seen. I watched. I think like every game that season. The 73-win team was just so fun.
Yeah, I remember Iguodala hitting a buzzer-beating 3 against the Brooklyn Nets at Brooklyn. I was living in LA. I was out to dinner with my girlfriend at the time and all of her friends. I didn't pay any attention to them. I was just watching the Warriors game on TV at the restaurant, and everyone was like,
"That was a magical season." Clay Game 6 at Oklahoma City.
You can't sleep on that series. That's the greatest series I've ever seen as a Warriors fan.
And I'm still mad at Draymond for kicking or punching LeBron in the nuts.
And you got to listen to the sliding door moment for that one.
I will never forget it. Well, this is why I need the 49ers to win on Sunday, because I don't want to start talking Jonathan Kuminga yet. I'm not ready.
Oh, no. Don't worry. We have plenty of Giants ownership buying the current theater and not signing any players. So.
All right, Brock, I need you.
Come on, Brock.
We can talk that.
Come on, Brock, CMC and the rest. Let's go. Let's go. I want some flea flicker for the juice.
All right. Well, let's hope everything goes not according to plan, and the Niners can
beat those Vegas odds, baby. Let's go, Niners.
Beat the odds. Let's go, Niners. Thanks for listening. We are the Hum Daddies, and we'll catch you again soon. Subscribe and like and follow us on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and anywhere you get your podcasts. Thanks for checking us out. And anything else, fellas?
Hum Daddies.
Hum Daddy.
Hum Daddies. Adios.